And we're live. Nation! T-Blooms, my T-Bloomers, T-Bloomanites, T-Bloomaholics, whatever you may be calling yourselves nowadays. Welcome to another episode of the T-Bloom Talk Show. We're here at week 11 of the NFL season, and of course, I'm going to give you all my predictions, my takes, news, updates, whatever you want to call it, on every single game coming up this Sunday, and of course, the Monday night game. Lots to go on in the podcast. At the end of my segment, we will have Jonesin' for Jones back on the talk show. He's going to give you updates on everything college football. We'll go over a few games, go over the likes and dislikes, and by the end of the show, you will know T-Bloom's top 5 Thanksgiving Day foods, and of course, Jonesin' for Jones Thanksgiving Day top 5 foods. Now, this is the last podcast before, actually, no, it's not. I won't even say that. Let's just get in right to the NFL news and games, starting with the Chicago Bears and the Atlanta Falcons. I know what you're thinking. God, these two teams, their record's not very good. I mean, what's the point of even watching this game? I'll tell you why. Chicago Bears and the Atlanta Falcons might be the two best rushing teams in the league. Statistically speaking, Atlanta is number 4 in the league in terms of rushing yards per game. Chicago is number 1 in the league in rushing yards per game. But what makes this matchup so exciting and enticing to watch is the fact that their defenses aren't good at stopping the run. So what does that mean? T-Bloom, what does that mean? What does that have to do with anything? They're going to run the ball all over each other? Yes. And that also means a high-scoring game. Well, why does it mean a high-scoring game? Well, think about it. You run the ball so successful. You got to think, I mean, they're going to run the ball throughout the whole game, and they're probably going to start, 14-14, Atlanta, Chicago tied. Good. What are the team's defenses going to do? What are the defensive coordinators going to do? They're going to play to stop the run. What does that mean? It's going to open up the passing game. Yes, it's going to open up the passing game because they're so, into stopping the run because they can't stop it. They got to, fill the box. That's going to create passing lanes for Justin Fields to do some of his magic. Marcus Mariota, yeah, of course, he's not the best passer. He never was. He never will be. But he's going to have some open targets because the Chicago Bears, they're going to have to stop the run. They're going to have to put 9 in the box, 10 in the box, and force Mariota to throw it, and he will. That's why I think the over is definitely going to hit. I know it's sitting at 49.5 points right now, but you got to think that this means fireworks. And anytime a high-scoring game happens, it's exciting. So, obviously, there's not much stakes here in this game in terms of playoff push or anything like that. None of these teams are necessarily out of the playoffs, especially the Atlanta Falcons. That NFC South division is wide open. Tampa Bay sitting at 5-5 in the lead, but Atlanta 4-6. Maybe they make a push. I doubt it. I think Tampa outlasts them, but still, this is going to be an exciting game, and it may be the T-Bloom game of the week. With that being said, though, I'm going to roll with the... it's a tough one. Atlanta's home. Chicago's on the road. I'm going to roll with the... We'll go Chicago. Chicago's had 2 weeks where they almost got it done. Justin Fields has been pretty much playing out of his mind, and I think they're going to get the job done here. And I don't know, this Atlanta team, it's just not the prettiest team. So we're going to roll with the Chicago Bears right here. Get back on track after that defeat against the Lions, and we're going to talk about the Lions here soon. I got a good take on what exactly we're going to be seeing in that matchup versus the Giants. But we'll get to that soon. Next game up, Cleveland Browns versus the Bills. Now, word just got out about 30 minutes ago before this podcast started that this game may not even take place. Buffalo Bills are having trouble even, getting a flight out to Detroit because they did relocate the game to Detroit because of the snowstorm, which, by the way, is bullshit. If I'm a Browns fan, I'm calling bullshit. You mean to tell me a city like Buffalo, who's used to the snow, by the way, don't take, they know what's coming. Used to the snow, know that there's going to be snow games. You mean to tell me a little bit of 6-foot snow that's going to keep you from, playing a game? You're going to take away a snow game from the fans of the NFL? I mean, how many snow games do you see nowadays? It seems like every team's got a dome. Here's an idea, Buffalo. If you don't want snow games, build a dome. It's that fucking simple. And getting back to the Browns' point of view, the Browns have a better chance of beating Buffalo. Let me turn this down a little bit. The Browns have a better chance of beating Buffalo in the snow. They're a running team. running teams play better in the snow because you don't got to throw the ball through the air. It's going to take away from Josh Allen's ability to, create plays and throw the ball down the field. That's pretty much what their offense relies on. And the Cleveland Browns need this win. So I'm calling bullshit, to be honest with you, with this one. I mean, it is a must-win for Buffalo. It's indoors now. It's in a stadium, Detroit Stadium. And their offense is going to thrive in that. So we're going to roll with Buffalo, but it is bullshit. And I'm not even a Browns fan. Obviously, you see the fucking Pittsburgh Steeler flag going on up there. I'm definitely no Browns advocate whatsoever, but you got to be... I'm pissed if I'm the Cleveland Browns fan. If that ever were to happen to the Steelers, I'd flip a bitch. I'd have Roger Goodell on the phone right now on the TBloom Talk Show, and he'd be answering some serious questions because that's BS. Some interesting takes on this game, or interesting statistics on this game. The Browns haven't won in Buffalo since 2009. 2009, number one Billboard song, Boom Boom Pow by the Black Eyed Peas. That's how long ago it's been since the Browns have won in Buffalo. And guess what? They won't even get a chance to cut that streak short because they got to play in Detroit now. Bunch of BS. 2009, Josh Allen was 12 years old since the last time freaking Cleveland won in Buffalo. But yeah, Buffalo's going to roll with this one thanks to the league ruining a snow game that would have been fun to see. I mean, come on. It's winter season. Let's see a fucking snow game. Taking away that shit. That's bullshit. And I'm not gonna let the NFL get away with it without hearing from the T-Bloom community. So reach out to Roger Goodell, tell him he's a piece of shit, and then move on. Next game, Philadelphia versus the Indianapolis Colts. Now, Philadelphia just suffered their first loss, right? They got beat by the Commanders. They got beat by that goddamn Heineken kid, playing balls to the walls football. And you could see it coming sooner or later. I mean, this Eagles team, they weren't seeming like they were going to win every game. Obviously that's a tough thing to do. Some teams look like they're more capable than others. This, to me, was never a team that was going to do that or really had a chance to do that. And one thing that's interesting about the Eagles, and this is why I'm not so high on them, I knew there was a reason why I'm not so high on them. They have, I believe, the third easiest schedule in the league. And if you look at their schedule, they don't have many games where they're playing top-tier opponents. Their best opponent that they faced was the Vikings, and they only won by 3. So it's not like the gap is just super spread from the Eagles and the rest of the NFC, or at least the Vikings. With that being said, though, on the other side of the ball, the Indianapolis Colts, baby, Jeff Saturday getting a dub. Where's all those haters at now? Oh, he should have never been hired. He should have never been hired. Well, he's 1-0, motherfucker. And he's probably going to be 2-0 because we're rolling with the Indianapolis Colts. And Joy Taylor, she had a little segment again about how the way he was hired, fucking was a disrespect to the rest of the league and to the people who work super hard to try and to get to these positions, and it's a slap in the face pretty much to those people who are working hard and deserve it a little bit more than Jeff Saturday. First of all, here's my gripe with that. Jeff Saturday's worked just as hard, if not even harder, than all these people that you think are qualified for the job. And I've already told you once, there's too much qualification in this goddamn league. Too many people coming in that are qualified for the job end up sucking. Case in point, Josh McDaniels over there in Las Vegas. Who's more qualified than that guy? Fucking won many Super Bowls with the New England Patriots, was the understudy of one of the greatest coaches ever in Bill Belichick, and yet he can't head coach for shit. Because he's sitting at 3-7 or 2-7 with the Las Vegas Raiders, who got at least top 15 roster in the league, I would say, and specifically on offense. They got all the keys on offense, and they can't seem to do shit. But no, that guy's qualified, right? Shouldn't he be the head coach? It doesn't work like that. Back to Jeff Saturday, you say he doesn't, you don't think Jeff Saturday worked his ass off to become a center? And you don't think he's picked up any kind of coachability skills throughout his career, being under Peyton Manning and being under Tony Dungy for one, and being under Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy? You don't think he's picked up anything? You know how hard it is to become center in the league? Like, you don't need to play coach to be able to know how to call plays. I'm sorry, you don't. If you needed an offensive coordinator right now and Peyton Manning walked through the door, you're going to tell him no? But he's never coached. He's never coached. But you know he can call plays, right? Because he was the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts for God knows how long. Then he went to Denver and won another Super Bowl. It baffles me that people think that, oh, you need to actually coach. You need to be in the position of coach to actually know how to coach. Sure, that may be true in some cases, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary. It's not mandatory that you coach in order to be a good coach. I hope that's making sense to you guys. Another gripe with what Joy Taylor said, the whole hard-working thing. When is hard work ever guaranteed anything? Sure, it's going to get you to a spot. It's going to make you better. It's going to put you in a better position to get anything. But those who know what hard work does, it doesn't guarantee shit. Okay? Just because you worked hard, people don't owe you anything. Jim Irsay can hire whoever the fuck he wants because he's the owner of the team, and he has that right to. By any means, create your own team. Hire who you think's qualified enough and see how well it does. No one's stopping you. No one's stopping you from doing that. But I'm tired of hearing this, oh, Jeff Saturday doesn't deserve it. This isn't Jim Irsay's hiring his friend. This isn't your friend at the local pub, okay? This isn't John Smith that you see every single day over at 2121 Bar, and you're like, hey, shit, man, I need a head coach. What do you got going on every Sunday? Oh, nothing. Oh, shit, let me hire you. This isn't that case at all. Jeff Saturday in the Ring of Honor of the Indianapolis Colts, Hall of Famer, one of the best centers to ever do it, Super Bowl winner, knows what it takes to get the guys fired up. And yeah, this whole qualification thing is just bogus, and it's played out, and it's just wrong. And also, to continue on that, let's say you do hire someone who's qualified for this job. You got to remember, this is an interim head coaching job. Since 2013, 2 out of 17 interim head coaches have went on to be the head coach next year. So why would you bring in a guy that's so qualified and so ready for this position just to cut him loose at the end of the season? Because the odds that he's going to be the head coach, or that the person that you think so qualified is going to be the head coach next year, the odds of that happening are low. They got a 2 out of 17 chance of that happening. So you want to set a guy up for failure? Is that what you're asking? Or why not pull out, fucking shit, we need someone who can at least motivate the goddamn boys in the locker room. Let's get in Jeff Saturday. That's what you need right now. So that's where I lay off. I'll get off my soapbox from that one, but it just pisses me off every time I see bullshit talked about Jeff Saturday hire. We're going to roll with Indianapolis. I'm on the Jeff Saturday hype train. Let's look to see them upset the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's look to see them go to 5-1, back to 500, and look to see the Eagles go to 8-2. Philly looks human. We're rolling with Indy. Next game, New York Jets versus the New England Patriots. Now, let's think about the psychology behind this one, guys. Let's just think about it. A couple weeks ago, the Jets had a chance to break the streak of the New England Patriots beating them 12 games in a row. They lost. That streak moved to 13 games in a row. I'm here to tell you they did that on purpose. Think about this. Robert Saleh, head coach of the New York Jets. If you've seen him on the sidelines, very, very emotional, very upbeat head coach. The type of head coach that's going to go and do a workout with you, right? Keeps his body in shape. You can tell he's there. You can tell he's also here in the head, because just think about this diabolical plan. The Jets have lost 13 straight games to the New England Patriots. They want revenge. They don't just want revenge. They want sweet and satisfying revenge. Now, it would be revengeful to beat the New England Patriots in your house and to snap the streak, and now, big things coming for the Jets. Oh, they finally beat the Patriots. Things are turning around. But what would be even better? What would be even better revenge than to beat Bill Belichick at home in New England, in Foxborough? There's no better revenge than that. I'm not saying he did it. I'm not saying he didn't do it. But if you think that Robert Saleh wouldn't throw a game to get the ultimate revenge against the New England Patriots, think again, because it just could have took place. The Jets are motivated. The Jets are motivated. And another gripe, who gave the fucking Patriots 4 straight primetime games? Look, I get it. Mac Jones he's a new Patriot quarterback. Tom Brady's successor. Oh my God. Cool, Patriot fans. But to be honest with you, no one wants to see you guys on primetime 4 straight fucking games. Especially if you pull Pittsburgh out of the primetime game. Their last Sunday night game. Kenny Pickett's last chance to show the goddamn world who the fuck he is. You pull that Sunday night game, but you're giving the fucking Patriots, who are a fucking 5-4 team, who could very well have a losing record coming into the Bills game in a couple weeks. You're going to give them 4 primetime games in a row? Who the fuck's making the schedule? I want to talk to them. And if it's a committee, I want to talk to the committee because they're blowing it. They're blowing so many opportunities, so many games every single year, and this is just abysmal. No one wants to see the Patriots 4 times in a row on primetime. 2, sure. It's bad enough you got them on a Thanksgiving Day game. Maybe that's a little harsh, but you know what I mean. So that's my gripe with that. Who am I going to take? I'm going to take the New York Jets because, like I said, Robert Saleh, he knows what he's doing. He's looking for the ultimate revenge. Beat Bill in Foxborough on their field. And to move the New England Patriots to 5-5 and to move the New York Jets to 7-3. We're rolling with the Jets, baby. Next game, the Los Angeles Rams versus the New Orleans Saints. Both these teams are beat to shit. I mean, injuries galore. Cooper Kupp's out. Fucking the Saints. I mean, I was watching their game last week against the Steelers. I couldn't name one guy on their offense outside of Andy Dalton and Alvin Kamara. I guess Jarvis Landry, but fuck, I mean, what is he nowadays? I mean, this is just 2 disappointing seasons going against each other, pretty much. I'm going to take the Rams because they at least have something to play for, right? They're sitting at 3-6. This NFC is pretty wide open in terms of the playoff race, the wild card race specifically. And the Saints, they just look beat. You got Mike Thomas, who obviously doesn't even want to play for them. You got other guys on their injury report that obviously don't even want to play for them. And you got Andy Dalton leading the helm. There's not much upside to the New Orleans Saints right now. They're sitting at 3-7. I guess this is a must-win game, but this is also a must-win game for the defending Super Bowl champions. And I'm going to take the Rams in this one. Not much else to say about that game. All right, moving on. We got the Detroit Lions versus the New York Giants. Now, if you remember correctly, last week, the Lion had to beat the Bear in a fight. And it did, by 1 point. It beat the Bear by 1 point. Now it's got a Giant on its hands. And this is a little bit of a more tricky situation, right? Because a Lion, it's still alive to this day. You can find lions in the wild. A Giant is extinct. Can't find them anymore. So it's going to be a little bit tricky of an unrealistic scenario in that sense. So I decided to draw a diagram for you. So if you take a look here, if you take a look at this, right here, you got the lion about 10 foot in width. It's got a 2.5 foot tail. Over here, you got a giant. I'm assuming about 60 feet in the air, 60 foot wingspan, just a massive motherfucker. But if you just think about the geometry of the situation. So right here, you got the lion, walking through the jungle, boom, 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 boom. Oh, shit, a fucking giant. Oh, my God, what am I going to do? It's got pretty much one option. This lion has to remain sneaky. Because if it doesn't, this giant right here, just give a little draw. This giant, how do I do this? This is fucked. Is going to hammer fist down. Damn, this is hard. Hammer fist down onto that lion. Now, what the problem with this is the giant is obviously super strong, right? Fucking 60 feet height. It's just massive. It's got raw power. Coupled with that is the force of gravity going down on the lion that's just going to combine for a fucking vicious ambush, and the lion's going to pretty much be an ant. It's going to get smashed just like an ant, and the lion's over. So the only choice that a lion really has is to sneak up on said giant, right? So we go here. Sneak up on said giant and attack it at its ankles, causing the giant to fall down, hit its head on the ground using that same force of gravity the Giant would use in its hammer fist to knock it out with, via fucking fall down. I'm sure a 60-foot fall, no one's surviving that, not even a Giant. So that's its only chance. But if the Lion doesn't remain sneaky and it spooks the Giant, this Giant, get up right here, this Giant will kick the Lion about a couple football fields, thinking like 200 feet in the air, all the way fucking probably miles across the land, and that Lion will die. So a lot of scenarios to be played out here, a lot of things that could go wrong for the Lion, and I just don't know if the Lion would be able to beat the Giant. I mean, I know I picked the Bear last week, but the Lion had a lot better chance beating the Bear than it did a Giant. I'm going to roll with the Giants on this one. I just don't see it happening. This Lion's coming off some momentum, beating a Bear. I mean, I'm sure that's a pretty big victory for him and his family, but I just don't see it beating a Giant. I mean, come on. It's a Giant. So we're going to roll with the New York Football Giants this week. Yeah. So that's what it's coming down to. Next game, Carolina Panthers versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now, hold on. Carolina Panthers versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I tried to find something interesting about this game. There was talks in the Panthers locker room, rumors, of course, that they want Sam Darnold to, players want Sam Darnold to come out and be the guy. They're tired of Baker. They're tired of PJ. They think Sam's the guy. He won't be playing this game, so it's not like you can get any hype behind that. And then you got the Baltimore Ravens, who maybe, hey, Mark Andrews is questionable. Came out yesterday. He's not questionable. He's going to be playing. And so there's really no hope. The Ravens are going to roll with this one. Panthers have no shot. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Ravens do lose. If Baker Mayfield plays, I mean, at least he's used to playing the Ravens twice a year. However, he does have a losing record against them. There's really no hope for this one. I'm just going to get off the topic right now. Baltimore is going to take that one. Next game, the Washington Commanders versus Houston Texans. This is an interesting one. Texans are coming off the devastating loss in the red, white, and blue game. We know that. They won't be able to win that championship for another 4 years. But if you look at the history, the Texans haven't lost to Washington since 2006. The Billboard Top 100 number one song in 2006, Bad Day. 'Cause you had a bad day, you take it one down, you shooby-doob-dooby and you doobie-doo-die. That was the number one song in the world the last time the Washington Commanders have beaten the Texans. Number one box office hit, the Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, the quarterback for the Washington Commanders, or Redskins at the time, Mark Brunell. Running back, Clinton Portis. Santana Moss was on the team. I mean, this is years ago. It doesn't feel like that, really, but this was absolutely years ago. And it's been a long time since the Commanders can beat the Texans. Will the Texans hold on? I don't know, because guess what? There's a Taylor Heineke train coming into town, and you better get the fuck out of his way, because Taylor Chugga Heineken isn't fucking around. He's worked his way back to the starting position of the Washington Commanders QB depth chart, outlasted Carson Wentz, which we all know is going to happen. Carson is the most injury-prone guy in the NFL. Outlasted him, worked his way back to a starting position, and now the team's on fire. I mean, they just came off beating the Philadelphia Eagles, and honestly, if you look at their next 4 games, the Washington Commanders are sitting at 5-5 right now. There's a very good chance, very, very good chance that they could be 8-5 at least. If you look at their next 4 games, you got the Texans, then they play the Falcons, then they play the Giants. Okay? They can beat the Falcons, they can definitely beat the Texans, and they can definitely beat the Giants. I mean, if the NFC East plays each other very well, all those games are toss-ups no matter what point of the year it is, or no matter what year it is in general. So this Washington Commanders team could sneak up and make some noise in terms of making a playoff push. Now, don't get me wrong, the Texans suck. That will play a big factor in Washington getting the win with this one. But the more momentum that Taylor Heineke gets, the more momentum that the Washington Commanders get, as they keep going on this roll, the harder it is going to be to stop this team. And I wouldn't be surprised if they make the playoffs. You heard it here first. Washington Commanders could very easily make the playoffs in the NFC, and I wouldn't want to be going against them. So we're going with the Washington Commanders. Las Vegas Raiders versus the Denver Broncos. This comes down to which team has been more disappointing. You got the Las Vegas Raiders, who got their quarterback. They got their running back. They went out and got Devontae Adams. They went out and got Josh McDaniels, the understudy of Bill Belichick, the greatest coach ever. Yet they're sitting here at 2-7. Not at all what they thought they were going to be. And on the other side of the ball, you got the Denver Broncos, who went out, got Russell Wilson, paid him all this goddamn money just for him to say, let's ride. And you're sitting at 3-6. I mean, I would say that the Denver Broncos, I would say Las Vegas the bigger disappointment. I mean, for what they did and they finished last year with their interim head coach and the way they finished, I mean, they made it close at least to make the playoffs. Now they're sitting here at 2-7. I mean, what the fuck? Who do I go with? I mean, it's pretty much, I can't read a room Russell Wilson versus I'm so sad Derek Carr. I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos. I don't think the Vegas Raiders have any sort of chance. I think they have a chance, obviously, but I don't think they're going to get the job done. A shit show of a game. A very, very disappointing season for both of these guys. We're going to roll with the Broncos. Dallas Cowboys versus the Minnesota Vikings. Now, you don't need to look very hard to find something interesting about this game because Dallas Cowboys, they sit at 6-3, and you got the Minnesota Vikings at 8-1 after they just came off one of their biggest wins of the season in Buffalo, knocking off Josh Allen and the rest of that Bills team. So, who's going to win this one? Well, if you look at the history, the Vikings haven't won a home game versus Dallas since 2010. Bet you didn't know that. That was Brett Favre versus Tony Romo. On the field, Brett Favre. Shout out Pat McAfee. Vikings, if they're sitting here, they got a big 3-game stretch. They got the Cowboys this week, then they got the Patriots, then they got the Jets. All three of those teams are not easy wins by any means and are looking for a playoff push. So this is a big stretch for the Vikings. They can come out of this looking like one of the best teams in the league, or they can come out of this sitting at 8-4 in a 3-game losing streak. Very, very easy. On the other side, you got Dallas, who just came off a loss versus the Packers, but that was a Packers team with their backs against the wall who needed a win against Aaron Rodgers, who absolutely did everything he could to win the game. By the way, Packers, they're sitting at 3-7 after last night's loss. I mean, it looks like it's the end of the road for Aaron in Green Bay. That's another story. But Dallas, nonetheless, they played a very, very desperate team. Tough to win desperate games. I'm going to roll with Dallas. I think they match up well against Minnesota. They got a good pass defense. I think they get back on track this week. Minnesota, they did beat the Buffalo Bills, but they very, very easily could have lost that game. It was really just, they were one successful Josh Allen QB sneak away from losing that game. Or just Josh Allen not fumbling in general. I mean, just absolutely. Oh, man, I feel for the Buffalo Bills fan. Actually, I really don't because they just got helped out by the league. I mean, Buffalo, Josh Allen's MVP stock is dropping as the weeks go on. I think the Vikings are not really as good as the record indicates, and I can see them dropping to the Dallas Cowboys in this one. We're going to roll with the Cowboys. You don't hear that very much. Next game, you got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what's going down, baby. Pittsburgh's got a chance to put themselves in a prime playoff push, as I predicted last week against the Saints. Their next 3 games, they got the Bengals, the Colts, and the Falcons. All 3 of those games they can win. Specifically, the Bengals and the Falcons one. Colts, I'm all for Jeff Saturday, but I'll tell you this, next weekend, Jeff Saturday can go fuck himself. It's Steeler Nation, baby. The Steelers can win this game because the Bengals can't they suck at pass protection, right? Steelers just got back TJ Watt. As soon as TJ Watt hits the field, the Steelers' defense is probably top 10 in the league because of TJ Watt. It's not many players that can do that to a team, but it is true. TJ Watt is a game wrecker, and he opens up, makes our defense much, much better. And I just got word that Minkah Fitzpatrick will be playing against the Bengals tomorrow. So we got pretty much a healthy, full defense. Kenny Pickett, he's getting momentum by, he's learning each and every week. We can beat these guys. We beat them week 1 already. and I think we can do it again. We got it at home. If we win this game, we have a really, really good chance at sitting at 6-6 here in a couple weeks. In prime position, really, we own our destiny at that point. On the other side, the Bengals, yes, they're a juggernaut team. They could beat any team any day, but they can also lose against any team any day. They got a tough stretch coming up. They got Pittsburgh, they got Tennessee, then they got Kansas City, then they go to Cleveland, which they already lost there. Then they got to play Tampa Bay, New England, Buffalo, and Baltimore. They're the last of their games. The teams who they play on the final stretch of the season have a combined record of 42 wins and 32 losses. That's a 10-game, over 500 team. It's going to be a tough stretch. So they have to win this game. So they're going to be fighting hard. Will they do it? I don't think so. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm biased as shit, and I can't help it. I can see the Pittsburgh Steelers coming in. I'm not saying it's going to be a dominant win by any means, but we got all the tools that it's going to take to beat the Bengals. Our pass rush, amazing. Our secondary, it's not the best, but what it is it's opportunistic. I can see 2 picks coming in this game very easily. I mean, Joe Burrow threw 5 of them week 1. I can see at least 2 happen in this game. And I'm going to roll with Pittsburgh. I think Kenny, he gets it going a little bit more this week. Yeah. So we're going to roll with the Pittsburgh Steelers, baby. Steeler Nation, shout out. We're going to roll. Next game, Kansas City Chiefs versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Here's what makes this one interesting, goddammit. The Los Angeles Chargers sit at 5-4. And this is like this Los Angeles fucking story. The Chargers specifically, every year they're supposed to be this team that should easily make the playoffs. They'll be in there. It'll be fine. And then they constantly put themselves in positions like this year, where they're middle of the pack. Middle of the pack. Is it time that we start thinking that Justin Herbert maybe isn't that good? And I know he's got Keenan Allen out and Mike Williams has been out for a couple weeks. But even before then, it doesn't look like he wasn't like winning games by a bunch. It's not like he's just sitting there dicing up defenses. He throws 50 times a game damn near. Of course he's going to have some good stats. I'm not saying he's bad, but is he really like top 5 in the league? These are questions that we need to answer. I'm just sitting here asking them. You tell me. You tell me, TBloom Nation. Because right now, I don't know. Because there's no reason why this Chargers team, who went out and got Khalil Mack to go paired up with Joey Bosa, there's no reason why they should be sitting at 5-4 right now. It's bullshit. So this is a must-win game for LA. And they almost beat the Chiefs last one. But what did it come down to? Oh, a Justin Herbert pick 6 on the goal line when they were about to go up a touchdown with like 3 minutes left. So fuck, Justin Herbert, what are you, dude? What are you? Tell me in the comments, TBloom Nation, because I'm out of ideas with this guy. Kansas City, if they win, they got a real chance to put a stranglehold on the division. If they win this, Chargers drop to 5-5. They'll move to 8-2. I believe that puts them, 3 games at the top of the division. And coming into this season, this looked like the best division in football. But you got the 2 fucking biggest disappointments in the world, in the Denver Broncos and the Vegas Raiders, and then you got fucking the bastard child Chargers never living up to expectations. So, I mean, it looks like Casey's going to roll with this division. I'm going to roll with Kansas City here. I mean, Los Angeles, it looks like Keenan Allen's going to be out again. Mike Williams looks like he's going to be out again. I just don't see how Justin Herbert can win this game. Sure, they're at home, but are you really at home in LA? Is there really home field advantage when it comes to these LA teams? I don't think so, but I don't know. I'm going to roll with Kansas City because it's hard to go against Kansas City, especially when the team they're going against isn't really consistent. So we'll roll with the Chiefs. And the last game of the Monday Night Football, how did this not get flexed? The fucking Niners versus the Cardinals. First of all, the Cardinals are about to be out. Kyler Murray's not even going to be playing. There's going to take away like 10,000 viewers right there. Even when he is playing, they're not very good. San Francisco, they're rolling right now. They're looking like probably arguably the best team in the NFC right now. I'd easily argue that. Yeah, I mean, obviously the Niners are going to win this one. I don't really have much to say about that game. And that's going to wrap it up for my predictions of these games. Coming up next, we have Jonesin' for Jones with a segment with him. He's going to go over some college games. Like I said, top 5 Thanksgiving Day dishes coming to you soon. And yeah, we'll transition over.
Let's do
One,
it.
two, three. Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Jones. I know we're short on time. I know it's kind of early in the morning, or you got stuff to do, so we're gonna get this going short and sweet. Let's start it off. How's school going? Are you having a good time right now? I mean, what's going on over there in Texas A&M land?
School's going very well so far. I got good grades, and then I'm able to start this small business that I've been able to start so far, and I signed my first athlete, so I'm excited doing that. And
Awesome, dude. Yeah, I
it's been a
seen
lot of
that
fun.
you signed your first athlete. First time you came on the show, you told me, "Hey, I want to be a sports agent." This podcast thing, just a little thing I like to do on the side. But my main goal, we're gonna get this sports agency going, and it's really cool to see you signed your first athlete as a freshman in college. I mean, I don't know about sports agents very much, but I don't think a lot of sports agents are signing their first athlete their first semester in college. Just don't see it very often.
Yeah, it's definitely not a common thing, but I'm definitely not a seasoned vet or and anything like that. I definitely have a lot to learn, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited. So it's been 3 days, and I've learned a bunch. I've made mistakes already, but I've the guy I signed is like my one of my best friends already. So it's nice when you have somebody like that, and you can just be open with them, be like, "Hey, man, I'm not gonna be perfect. We're gonna make mistakes, but I'm here to like serve you." So
No, awesome. That's a great attitude to have because I mean that's the only way you get better. You got to make mistakes. You got to fail.
right.
Um, so your best part of college and the worst part of college so far.
Best part is definitely just the freedom in general and being able to do what I want to do and be able to pursue what I want to pursue. And I don't have anybody really
Mm-hmm.
in my way at all. And then the worst part is probably just not being able to see my family because I'm definitely a homebody. I don't really go out. I don't do a bunch of that stuff. I really enjoy the time I have with my family. So not being able to be with them is the saddest part, I would say. But I'm seeing them soon, so that's good.
Yeah. Speaking of Thanksgiving Day coming up, what's the day in the life of a Thanksgiving Day for Mr. Jones over there? What are we looking at?
We always every day, I mean every Thanksgiving, it's very, very dumb, but we watch the Thanksgiving Day parade and it's not the most entertaining, but my mom's done it her whole life. So we do it because mom says so. And
Absolutely.
she's cooking, and I think this year I'm actually cooking the breakfast. So we'll see how that goes.
Ooh, what do we got on the menu for the breakfast?
Have you seen the Rocks French toast?
Yes.
I'm making that.
You're
I'm gonna
making the
try it.
rocks French toast?
Yeah, I'm gonna try
Those
it.
those thick ass slices?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's awesome. What time should I come over? No, I'm just kidding. Um,
Fly in anytime, man.
yeah, yeah. Any turkey bowls or anything? Any football playing or anything like that? No?
We don't really play it if I'm being honest. We watch it for sure though. We watch the Lions when they first because they're always the first game, and then we're Cowboys family, so
Oh
we'll be
yeah.
watching
Oh, it's so lucky. You guys are so lucky. Every fucking Thanksgiving you guys get
every
to
year.
play. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, in in great what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't know the
Spirit.
word I'm looking for. In great spirit, yes, the great
There you
spirit
go.
of the Thanksgiving coming up. This is the last T-Bloom Talk Show episode before Thanksgiving. Last time I'll be able to talk to you before Thanksgiving. Let's run through Mr. Jones's the Jones and for Jones's top 5 favorite Thanksgiving dishes.
All right, I have a question before I start. Can I go with some desserts?
Yeah, for
Our
sure,
word.
for
All
sure.
right, I'm gonna go 5-1. Build a
Okay,
little bit of anticipation.
nice,
I think
nice.
five for me is peach cobbler. I mean, I'm a Georgia boy. Peach
I
state.
was gonna say you're from the South. I'm expecting some heat right now, dude.
Yeah, yeah, peach cobbler for sure. And we have a little bit of some like different things that I'm sure is probably different from you. Four, I would say, is mac and cheese. I
Okay.
don't know if that's very common where you would do
Oh
Thanksgiving.
yeah, people. I personally, and then people are gonna give me a lot of flack for this. I've never been a mac and cheese guy. I just don't.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
not a bit. Yeah, I know. I just even the best of mac and cheese. People tell me, "Oh, you'd like my grandma's mac and cheese." No, I wouldn't. It's just the whole cheese and the macaroni
Right.
thing. It just doesn't suit me. But yes, a lot of people do mac and cheeses for their Thanksgiving, so that's pretty normal.
Okay. All right. And then three, as you can tell from a theme already, I'm a carb guy. So I'm gonna go dinner rolls. I love
Mm,
rolls with all my heart. I can't,
yeah,
they're just the best. And then two, we do a twice baked potato, which is outstanding. And
twice
then
baked potato. So you bake it twice. What is that?
I don't. My mom is could probably tell you. She'd break it down for you, but it
Okay,
is twice baked. But I don't know how it works. It's just phenomenal.
okay.
Yeah,
That no,
and
that
then
that's unique.
yeah, yeah. And then number one, I'm not a ham guy at all, so I go turkey because it's OG. It's the best. So my dad does turkey and he does it the best. So are you like an anti-turkey guy or what?
Oh, buddy, I'm just gonna go through my top five right now,
Is
and
it going to be the complete opposite?
we'll see. Well, roughly, where did I put my list? My God, I just had it up. No. Okay, here it is. All right, so my top five. I'll start at five as well. Build some anticipation up. Number five for me would be turkey.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not
On the
much.
list.
Yeah, I mean, I like turkey. Don't get me wrong. And also just so you know, I was thinking like gravy isn't really a food. I consider that to go with every dish. You know what I mean? I pour
Agreed.
gravy over my whole plate. You know, it doesn't really matter
Right.
what touches it. So turkey with that gravy, I mean, yeah, it's good.
For sure.
Turkey's not my favorite, but yeah. Number four, I like any cream pie, you know, chocolate cream pie, banana cream pie. I'm not a big sweet guy right now. I'm kind of in the savory stage of my life, right?
Yeah.
So I'm always looking forward to like the you know the course. So number three would be stuffing.
Okay.
Love me some stuffing.
Can't go wrong with stuffing. If it's
Number
done
two, yeah, when it's done right, because I made stuffing before and no, it's trash.
right. Right.
Number two, mashed potatoes.
Okay.
I fucking love mashed potatoes, man. I'll just eat stuffing and mashed potatoes and I'll be fine.
Agreed. You can't
And
go
then
wrong.
number one, I'm a ham guy, man. I'm a
Oof.
ham guy. I'm sorry, dude. I know, but it's just the better. It's the better of the meats for me.
It's just slimy, man. I don't know. I can't get behind it. I
I
just never have.
I'll be honest. I've never met anybody who has not been a ham person.
Really?
Maybe that's a southern. I don't know. I mean, up here in Washington, man, a lot of people like ham.
That's interesting. I don't
Yeah,
remind me I'm not going to be getting any ham in Washington if I ever see it.
yeah, for sure. No, yeah, that's interesting. I'm glad we had a little bit of a dispute right there. Keep it interesting. Um, that's awesome. Oh, also, we won't be doing any T new T boo today. You know, we don't have enough time, and I,
Right.
you know, but what we will do is we will go through the Thanksgiving Day NFL games and give our predictions for that.
Let's do it.
So right off the bat, we got the Bills versus the Lions, assuming they're all healthy. I
Yeah.
think this one's pretty obvious. You know, I think we're both going to go Bills on this one. Yeah,
Yeah, you got to go Bills.
yeah. What do you think about them rescheduling that game?
Are they actually doing that? I didn't see that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they officially rescheduled it. Well, they didn't reschedule it; they relocated it to the Detroit Lions field.
That doesn't surprise me. It was gonna be like 6 feet of snow, something crazy like
You
that. So
see,
I don't
I
blame
seen that. I seen those reports, and then I like go through the threads, and then you got people from Buffalo saying, it's not even supposed to snow here, and
it.
Sunday or
Weird.
whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure. I'm kind of mad. I mean, if I was a Cleveland Brown fan, I would be pissed. I'd be like, look, this is the only chance we got to beat the Bills on a snowy game where we just got to run the ball. They can't throw very much,
Yeah.
and yeah, but it is what it is. But yeah, they actually did relocate that. I thought that was interesting.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Next one, this is probably going to be the best one, or maybe not. The Giants versus the Cowboys.
Okay. You know I'm going Cowboys.
I know you're going Cowboys, and uh,
Break it to me.
I'll go
You
Cowboys
break it
with you,
down.
buddy. I mean, I
Okay.
don't have any stakes for the Giants. I don't hate the Cowboys too much, but I'll go Cowboys with you.
Love. Thank you.
I just don't know. The Giants seem like a really, really bad 7-2 team,
I
like
agree.
one of the worst 7-2 teams that have ever existed. But yeah,
Thanks
I'll
to the
go
scheduling right
Cowboys.
there.
Yeah. And then the last game, we got some pretty good games. Patriots versus the Vikings.
That's an American matchup right there, if I've ever heard it. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Uh, for me, I'm gonna go Vikings. They've been hot.
they have been, dude. Beating the. Did you watch any of that Bills game?
It was outstanding. I watched some of it. Yeah, I didn't watch it all the way through, but it was a
I
pretty
was
good game.
I watched like the last 3 minutes or whatever, and in that 3 minutes, man, there was so much excitement and
Yeah,
just so much that happened. Josh Allen fumbling it on the freaking on the goal line. All they needed was like one QB sneak, and he fumbles it. Man,
yeah,
his stock as MVP is going down. That's for sure.
yeah. It is.
Couple of rough games for him, but man, Patriots Vikings. Kind of depends on what the Patriots do this week against the Jets.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Patriots. I think the Vikings are gonna get slowed down. I don't think it'll be this week. Who are the Vikings going against this week? The Not sure who they're going against. Doesn't matter. I'm going to go Patriots. We'll go Patriots.
Yeah, I don't blame that. I mean, Kirk Cousins in any big time game isn't always the greatest, so I could always see him crumbling, and it's Belichick. So
Oh, yeah,
who
this is a
knows?
primetime game. Yeah, so yeah, Kirk's going to just doesn't play well in primetime for whatever
Nope,
reason.
guess not.
Huh. All right, so we got our predictions there. Let's move on to college football. I have to talk college football while you're on here, dude.
Of course,
You're my college football go-to. Um, some thoughts on the past college football weekend in terms of you went 3-2 last week with your predictions.
Okay,
The only ones you didn't get right was the Oregon-Washington game, which was a hell of a game,
that was a good game.
and the Texas A&M and Auburn game. Sorry
Which
about
that
that,
one,
man. A&M having a tough year.
man, we can't win for losing, dude. I literally we in basketball we lost yesterday too. We were
Oh,
ranked in basketball and we lost. So it's just tradition for A&M at this point, I guess. But I mean, I'm never going to choose against them. I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We have some young guys that are getting playing time. A lot of freshmen playing. So I'm not going to be like a lot of people around us right now that are trying to say fire Jimbo and this season's terrible and all these players are terrible. They're like 18, 19 years old playing against grown men. So
right.
we got to also temper the expectations. I wasn't expecting us to be outstanding this year, but a lot of people were. But I think next year and the year after, we better start seeing some more momentum, and hopefully by my junior year we're contending. That's my hope.
That's your okay. It's a good solid plan. Good solid course to set right there.
Yeah, it's realistic, but if
Mm-hmm.
they don't do that, then we can start looking at other options. But
Excuse me. Let me blow my nose real quick. Sorry, boss. It's
I'll do
cold season up here in Washington, man. It's like 24 degrees out right now.
it. It's cold for me, and I think it's like 50 degrees here.
Oh,
So
man. Yeah. 1 second. All right. Can you hear me?
yes, sir. I got
All
you.
right. Turn off my mic because no one wants to hear that kind of stuff. Oh, man. Feels better. Okay. So we're going to do some college predictions.
Let's do it.
Not many ranked, two ranked teams going against each other this week. We got Utah, number 10, versus Oregon, number 12. Who you got?
They both. I mean, last week Oregon kind of fell way back down to
Hit
earth,
the
and
bed.
then
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know, man. I'm used to Oregon kind of choking towards the end of the year, so I'll go Utah.
Utah. Okay. All right. UCLA, number 16, versus number 7, USC. Pac-12, man, we got a lot of fucking people in the top 25. That's
Yeah.
a little bit ridiculous, I think. I just
USC is
think
like
I think lowly of the Pac-12. I don't know why, because you got
I do
these
too.
SEC teams that I feel like I don't know. I just think lowly of the Pac-12.
I mean, USC has been like they play at like midnight for our time, like I swear every week, so nobody really talks about them a lot, at least over
Mm-hmm.
here. But they've been skating by. I mean, they barely beat Cal, so I would not be surprised if UCLA won. But with Lincoln Riley's game planning, I'm going to go USC. But I would not be surprised at all if UCLA and DTR kind of balled out and they won.
Okay, so you're going Utah and USC. Okay. Now I had to for these next matchups, I had to kind of see
All
what
right,
would be interesting. So I did a little bit of research on these other ones. UCLA. Sorry, I'm trying to type this in. Yeah, so I did some digging, because there wasn't, an obvious matchup that would be good. So we got Tennessee versus South Carolina. Here's some background on it.
got it.
Tennessee's on a 3-game win streak, right, against South Carolina.
Yeah.
Before that, they were on a 3-game losing streak to South Carolina. Before
Okay.
that, they were on a 3-game winning streak. And before that, another 3-game losing streak.
What's the pattern here?
So if the pattern continues, it says South Carolina is going to take this one. We know how good Tennessee is at ranked 5 right now. Tennessee versus South Carolina. Do you think the pattern continues or do you think it gets snapped?
I think the pattern gets snapped personally. I
Yeah.
mean, Tennessee, they literally at senior night, I think they had 20 plus seniors walking. So they have grown men playing.
Right.
South Carolina is really young into this rebuild. So I don't see it happening. I would love nothing more than that to happen because I
Mm-hmm.
can't stand Rocky Top. So I mean, South Carolina should go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna try to be realistic. I think Tennessee is gonna win.
Right on. All right. I was gonna do. I didn't realize SMU and Tulane played yesterday, so that
Okay.
was gonna be one of my matchups I asked because there was some interesting stuff there. But we only do 4 this week, so we got Illinois versus number 3 Michigan. Here's some background on this.
Give it to me.
Illinois is 2-11 against Michigan since 2000, and Illinois hasn't won in Michigan since 2009. Michigan
Jeez.
is also currently on a 5-game winning streak. 2009, I was in 6th grade in 2009. How old? What are you? You're 18, right? 18,
I'm
19,
19.
19. So what would that be? What do you
I was like 6 years old.
like 6 years old? The
Crazy.
number one song on the Billboard Top 100 was "Boom Boom Pow" by the Black Eyed Peas.
Great
That's
song.
how long. Yeah, great song.
Phenomenal.
That's how long it's been since Illinois has won in Michigan. Do they snap the streak this year?
I don't think so. Michigan's running game is too good and they're too physical. So
Mm.
I don't see that happening. But that's another matchup that I wouldn't mind being wrong on. So
Yeah,
I win either way this week.
Illinois, man, weren't they ranked at some point this year?
I don't know about this year. Last year they were okay, but I don't know about
Okay,
this year. They might have been. I could be wrong.
okay. I thought maybe that's their basketball team. All right, so you got Michigan. All right, playing it safe this week. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
You got to. We got about 3 minutes here. Anything else you wanted to talk about? Anything exciting going on in Jones' life, or you getting married soon or something, or like
No, sir. No marriage in the future as of right now.
gonna play it
Yeah,
cool?
sir. What'd you say? Sorry.
Oh, you gonna play it cool? Not taking any risks too early in your life right now.
No, man. I'm just working hard and working hard in school, working hard in business, and just trying to improve as a man every day. So
Absolutely,
I
man. I
got
love
a lot
love
to learn.
love the mindset, dude. Keep going. Your results are showing. Your hard work showing off. I appreciate you coming on with such short notice and all the confusion and stuff last night.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. We love having you on the talk show. I love
Yes,
talking
sir.
sports with you. Yeah, man. I think that's gonna wrap it up for now. Have a great Thanksgiving
Yes, sir. You
and
too.
tell the family I said hello.
Yes, sir. I will.
All right. Hey, appreciate it, boss. You have a good day.
Yes, sir. You too.
All right.